Okay, in this brief segment, I'm going to introduce some terms that will be useful when we start talking about epistemology. It will be useful for you to watch this video before you start doing the epistemology video. So some of these terms are terms we've already been using. I'm just going to reiterate what they mean. So a claim, we can also take that to be a proposition. For our purposes, we don't need to distinguish statements, claims, and statements from propositions, so I'll let you use any of these interchangeably. A claim says something about the world. It represents the world as being a certain way. It can have a truth value, so a claim can be true or it can be false. Maybe there are other truth values, but for now, let's just stick with true and false. So what is truth and what is falsity? Well, for ease of discussion, we're going to adopt a very simple-minded way of thinking about truth and falsity. And when I call it simple-minded, I don't mean that that's bad. In fact, I think this is the right way to think about truth and falsity. But I want to point out there are people who disagree. There are people who have more sophisticated views of truth and falsity, which they think are the correct ones. I like the simple-minded one, and we're going to work with it because it's easy. So here's the idea. A claim is true if it corresponds to the way the world is. So the claim, the pencil I'm holding right now is yellow, is true. Why is it true? Because the pencil I'm holding right now is yellow. The claim, it's below 40 degrees outside is true. Why is it true? Because it's below 40 degrees outside. So a claim is true if it corresponds to the way the world is. And it's false if it doesn't correspond to the way the world is. So the claim, the pencil I'm holding right now is green, is false. Why is it false? Because the pencil I'm holding right now isn't green. The claim it's 40 degrees outside right now is false. Why is it false? Because it isn't 40 degrees outside right now. Establishing the truth or falsity of a claim of interest is often the goal of theorizing, whether it be philosophical or scientific theorizing. Okay, so that's claim and truth and falsity. Now belief. Very roughly, a belief is the psychological state of affirming a proposition, of taking a proposition to be true. So anything you think is true is something you believe. Anything you know is true is also something you believe, because knowledge implies belief, as we'll talk about later. So, for example, you can believe that roses are red, you can believe that roses aren't red, you can believe that God exists or God doesn't exist, you can believe that butterflies are beautiful or that they're hideous, and so on. Any claim you think is true or you think is false constitutes either a belief that it's true or a belief that it's false. Next up is an important notion which we'll talk about quite a bit in the epistemology unit, justification. This also is related to the words warrant, reasons, evidence, and your justification for a belief in the sense of justification that we're interested in basically is what makes it reasonable for you to hold that belief. So very roughly, if one believes a claim for good reason, then her belief is justified. If you believe a claim for bad reason, then your belief is unjustified. Okay, we're going to stop this video there, and there's more information on the slides if you're interested, but none of it's mandatory. It's just there if you want to look at it. Okay.